Japan. We all likely have a different perception of Japan, but if you are anything like me, the first thing you think of is likely, but it's likely the wild crimes that go on here, ranging from the Yakuza to cold cases, police misjudgment. It's gonna get wild. The murder of Junko Fiora. The year is 1988. Junko was a 17-year-old girl studying as a senior at Yoshio Minami, with a part-time job saving for a graduation trip and a confirmed job after high school. On the other side, there was a group of 4 boys who had just dropped out of high school and are starting to get involved with organized crime as chinpara. They started off small, stealing purses, car theft, but started to commit nefarious acts such as gang rape and torture, which they had done on 2 previous occasions with different women. And while out searching for a victim, they spot Junko. On their scooter, one of them kicked Junko off their bike and ran while the other one acted like they had just witnessed the crime, and offered to walk her home. After walking to a nearby warehouse, the boy threatened her, saying he was a Yakuza member and to do what he says or he would kill her. And from this point on, Junko would endure nearly 40 days of torture and rape, with them confining her in a room on the 2nd story, and anytime she was allowed to leave, she had to act as a girlfriend for one of the boys. Just Jesus, man. Reading what they did is completely vile. They would hold lighters to her thighs, her hands, her private parts, and would starve her consistently. And near the end of her suffering, she would plead to her captors to be killed, but they never did. Until one day, one of the boys lost at gambling and he decided to release his anger on Junko, where she hit her head on a stereo piece, where she started to convulse, and afterwards, they killed her by beating her with their fists and dropping a metal exercise ball. Holy dude, I'm really struggling to read this. Afterwards, they dropped her in a metal drum and filled it with concrete, where after being caught, the police identified her with fingerprints. In court, the judge decided not to leave the names confidential due to the severity of the crime, and the sentence to each kid to roughly 20 years each, which is really low in my opinion, but most of them got caught for other crimes and would likely spend more time in prison. Alright, I may butcher some names in this one, so give me some grace. The Sagamihara stabbings. Some argue this to be the worst crime committed on Japanese soil, but that's up to debate. On the 26th of July 2016, in the Midori ward, a man named Satoshi Uematsu broke into a care facility for disabled or bedridden people, where he then stabbed over 45 people, leading to the death of 19 of them. He broke into the building with a hammer around 2:10 a.m. so he could target them while they were sleeping. He tied up the workers and stole their keys and went room by room. After the cops were called about a break-in, and he escaped before they showed up. But 2 hours after the police showed up, he turned himself in, and he later shared some awful remarks about disabled people, saying they should be euthanized to prevent World War III, and essentially wrote this manifesto talking about how he could have killed 460 people instead of 19, and after pleading not guilty, he was given the death sentence. He even asked for a retrial, which I thought was interesting, and the judge shot that down so quickly. Okay, I'm gonna butcher this one too, just bear with me. The Shinrio doomsday cult. See, I was just gonna do a single case for this, but I fell down a slight rabbit hole, finding out that this doomsday cult has committed several terrorist attacks against the Japanese government and rival religions. This starts in the late 1993, where they failed 2 times to assassinate a rival religious leader with a sarin gas. This group really likes this gas, so remember that. And after getting taken to court, they failed again to kill the judge and the attorneys with sarin. But after this, they succeeded to release sarin in a residential neighborhood, killing 8 people and injuring more than 500. After this attack, the group slowly got bigger and bigger, even making their own chemical facility where they tried to replicate anthrax attacks and supposedly even pipe bombs. And for nearly 9 months, they used gas and chemicals to kill people who they saw as threats or for some religion reason. Before on the 20th of March 1995, they attacked a subway near the Japanese Parliament building. They killed 14 and injured over 1,000 people. This is considered by modern standards the worst terrorist attack in Japanese history. The sibo slashing. This case happened on June 1st, 2004, where a schoolgirl, referred to as Girl A typically, murdered her classmate with a box cutter. And supposedly, she had slashed the girl's neck and legs and waited till she knew she was dead before returning to class covered in blood. Where the teacher initially thought she had hurt herself, before demanding the truth, where the girl said, in quotes, "It's not my blood, it's not me." Now in the police station, the girl confessed originally with no motive, before saying that the other girl had slandered her on a chat room about her weight and looks, which led her to kill her. Supposedly, she had also posted some things on 2chan, the Japanese version of 4chan, and afterwards, they tried to blame her for liking the flash game Red Room, which was popular in Japan at the time, which is weird. I don't know how true that is, though. Now, this next case was the one that kind of got me into this topic. It is the North Kanto serial kidnapping and murder case. From 1979 to 1996, there was a series of 5 murders and kidnappings of young girls from ages 4 to 8 in the Tochigi and Gunma area, where all of the kids have gone missing from Pachinko Harbor, and 4 bodies have been found, with the last girl still missing to this day. This case was discovered when in 2007, a journalist connected the dots between 4 kidnappings and the Ashikage murder case, where previously a man named Toshikazu Sugaya had admitted to 2 of them and found guilty but not charged yet, with very limited DNA sampling. So in 2009, and so once the journalist started to report on this case and noticed irregularities with him and the actual case, they ran more complex DNA samplings, which led to Sugaya being found innocent. The big thing about this case is how hard the police fumbled. They essentially ignored every piece of evidence just to go with the first person to admit to do it, with an impossible testimony, by the way. So this led to a case that is still unsolved, with the police almost ignoring it, and with limited media coverage, the person who committed this gets to walk away freely. The Settagaya family murder. Absolutely butchered that one. But from December 30th to December 31st of 2000, a man entered the Settagaya home and killed the entire family with a knife and by strangulation of the son. See, now, what's truly odd about this is how the person stayed in the home for multiple hours afterwards, where he did odd tasks around the house, like watch TV, cleaned a little bit, and so he was basically living in this family's home. And after living in this home, he left and was never found. It is considered one of the largest criminal cases in Japan, as there was over 246,000 investigators and 12,000 pieces of evidence. That is obscene. With 246,000 investigators, I would hope you would maybe find something. But they tried DNA, blood sampling, and even minor amounts of CCTV footage, but it all came up as nothing. This whole operation is just wild. How he just left the building and was never found again. It's so in-depth that they knew exactly what he ate before the incident. It was string beans and sesame seeds. What the hell? The Twitter killer was an awful man named Takahiro Shirashi. I fumbled that. Where when he was younger, he would go do the blackout challenge, where he sent himself unconscious. This is believed to be where his killing started. As the name implies, Takahiro would lure people through Twitter to murder them. But he never started like this. He started by luring women for money because he believed his life was completely worthless and that he had to be paid through it. And after buying a very small loft, he decided to kill his first victim, where he would then rape her before hanging her from his loft, where afterwards he would cut her up and hide her inside boxes inside of his apartment. And he did this 9 more times, posting on Twitter asking people if they wanted to die, which led already unstable people into his apartment. The police later discovered that he was walking with one of the missing women through CCTV and tracked him down before he essentially gave up. And he pointed out how he had over 200 pieces of his victims inside of 7 different boxes. And he pleaded guilty and died of hanging in 2025. Hi. But I just wanted to say, if you made it this far, it'd be much appreciated if you liked and subscribed. It's obligatory that I say that now. But I just want to say thank you for the appreciation of the Kaliak video. That means a lot to me. But thank y'all.